Hi, I'm Austin from Boss here at American Musical Supply, and today we're going over the Katana amplifier. So really cool amp. We did it. We have achieved the non-master volume tube amplifier experience in a solid state amp, which is pretty awesome. So how did we do it? Well, there's three components that make this type of effect happen. So to get that natural dynamic interplay between the guitar and the amplifier, we're using an analog discrete input stage. This means that it's a separate PCB board from the rest of the amplifier and processes the guitar signal or any input signal in an analog form. Next, we have the tube logic stage, which is going to be the middle portion of it. And this basically creates the same reactions that you would get from a tube amplifier while you're actually playing it in real time, which is pretty cool. And then lastly, we have a Class AB analog power amp stage. And this allows for more natural interplay between the amplifier and the speaker, because that's another very important part about why we like tube amplifiers so much. The power section, that power sag, delivering a lot of that power and that voltage to the speaker, and kind of giving this push-pull system as we're kind of playing into the amplifier. So that's a little bit about the hardware and technology integration and how we're getting the sound. Now getting down right to the actual amplifier itself. So the sound that you just heard that I just played for you was the round sound. And this is going to be kind of your old school heavier type of tones. You have a gain control, volume, and a 3-band EQ for that section. And you have 4 other amplifiers to choose from. So you heard the brown sound already. We're going to switch over to the lead sound. And lead sound is going to have a similar gain structure to the brown sound, except it's going to be more mid-heavy, which is good for, you guessed it, leads. So still very dynamically sensitive even when I'm backing down the volume with all that gain happening. Really nice sensitive input section. Next amplifier is going to be our crunch amplifier, which is going to be probably about half the gain of the 2 amplifiers that I just showed you. And it's going to give you a crunch type tone. So here we go with that sound. So really nice crunch channel there. I can use that for some nice leads with less gain. And still, just like I demonstrated before, still has that same nice input sensitivity on the input section. Next is going to be our clean amplifier. Clean amplifier is going to react kind of like a tube clean amplifier. So the more that I give as far as dynamics go, the more I'm going to get from the amplifier. I get that preamp kind of distortion grit sound. So here we go with that. So really, really nice clean tone on there that I can get out of the amp. And then the last amplifier section we have on here is the acoustic section. Acoustic section works great as a nice jazz amplifier if you're trying to get that more woolly, rounded off sound. So really, really nice wool off section, but it can also be used as an acoustic preamp as well. So we can use this amplifier as an acoustic amp if we're ever in a pinch, which is really, really cool. Like I said before, the controls are very basic. You have a gain, volume, a 3-band EQ, and then lastly we have some effects built into the amplifier. So the amplifier by itself comes with 15 effects right out of the box. You can probably see them on the Tone Studio here. I get 3 overdrive pedals, I get 3 modulation pedals, 3 delay pedals, 3 secondary effects like tremolos and T-Wahs and stuff like that, and 3 reverbs. So I'm using the GAFC foot switch. I can actually use the GAFC foot switch as a miniature pedal board of sorts to turn on and off those effect sections. So here we go with the overdrive section. In the overdrive, I'm actually using a blues driver for this one, which is actually pretty cool. Blues driver is actually one of my favorite, and I threw a little bit of analog delay on there. So here we go with that sound. So that's really cool that we have the ability to do that, turn the effect sections on and off and such. The delay is also tap tempable using the GAFC, so I can tap out the tempo as such and I can get a different sound. So it's really cool that I can use the GAFC foot switch as a miniature pedal board of sorts, so that way I can control the effects and the amplifier channels in the amp. Lastly, we have a power control knob on the Katana amplifier. This is for all of the series. I can dial it down to a whole ½ a watt, and I also have 50 watts and 100 watts. That obviously changes with the 50 watt combo here, being that it gets to 25 and then 50. The wattage setting that I'm using right now is 50 watts, gives a little bit of air movement to the speaker so I can show off that, that Class AB analog power amp stage and the speaker kind of having that natural interplay at a high volume level. I can also dial this down to 0.5, and I also have a standby just like I would on a normal tube amplifier. On the back I have an effects loop that I can use. I can run it series or parallel. I also have a TRS line output, which is actually kind of what you're hearing right now. We're actually blending the 609 microphone and the line output on the back so that we can get a fuller sound. There is also an auxiliary input as well as inputs for my foot switches here that I can use, like the GAFC or the FS7 dual foot switch. And I also have MIDI on the head. Some of the outputs will change as you go to different combos. The larger 100 watt combos will have the same connections as the 100 watt head. The 50 watter, you don't have a line output or an effects loop, but you do have headphone out for silent recording and practice. And that is the Katana Amplifier series from Boss. I'm Austin from Boss here at American Musical Supply. Thank you so much for watching.